He's not only entertains, but he educates an audience. It's a little different. And his high-level presentations project a scholarly guy regarding the powerful science of the subconscious mind. He's so much more, really, than a mentalist, but his interests make his mentalism very different, very unique. With a Master of Arts degree in theater from California State University, he's schooled in theater and the ability to communicate. Beyond his one-man shows, he's appeared in over 100 theatrical productions, television shows, feature films, including Taxi Drivers, Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country, and others. One of his show titles I like, Journey into the Imagination. I like that. It's a good subject for a sermon, isn't it? Kind of sums up his scholarly pursuits, from psychology to psychic research to magic, the study of consciousness, which I think is the science of the future, and of course the entire incredible, very complex world of mentalism. It is complex. So this award goes to a man known as the master of the imagination, and who comes to us from Westport, Connecticut, James Mapes. Don't put this audience in trance, because I'm not ready to quit.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whew, I'm not going to cry as I did when I found this out, because I had not cried in 3 years before that. Oh, man. This award has thrown me back in my past. At 10 years old, after getting a magic kit, as many of us did, I decided within a week I was a magician. And my mother sponsored a show for a nickel in the neighborhood. And when I walked out with my deck of cards, I tripped and threw the cards on the audience and ran off crying. My mother saved my rabbit, seriously, from my hat. And she told me, if you let this get you down, you will never do anything in life. Jump forward to theatrical careers, and I was watching in 1970, if those of you who are old enough to know who June Havoc was, Gypsy Rose Lee's sister. A mentalist by the name of Sam Vine came, hypnotist by the name of Sam Vine came in and did a show, and it scared me. I ran out of the room, and I never let it go. I went back to New York to do a soap opera, and a friend of mine says, have you ever heard of Tannins? No, I think you should be there. After about 4 visits, I said, I want to be invited to the back room someday. I produced my first theater in 1973 and paid my New York actors, all professional, $50 a week. And in order to pay my own way, I had to do magic. It was called Magic and Music with Jan and Jim. Jen Buttram, who runs a beautiful theater in Connecticut. 1974, I was acting in a theater company up in Syracuse, and I turned on the TV and I saw Kreskin. I said, I can do that. I didn't know how, but within a month I put together a show. I made up a lot of publicity and got paid 2 meals a week and walked in, and I thought, this is going to be great. So I numbered ping pong balls, 1 to 10, and I thought, I can't let people think anything's set up. So I threw out the ping pong balls. Nobody picked them up. Let that go. I moved on to my first hypnosis show. I walked out on stage. I did my introduction. It was a place called Ike's Warehouse. 2,000 drunken stone teens. And where I got this, I guess it was Orman McGill, I said, anyone can be hypnotized unless they have an IQ of under 70 and an idiot. Somebody picked up a beer bottle, said, well, I won't say what they said, threw the beer bottle at me, and then I was pummeled with beer bottles. I went back to my room. I had lost my voice. And my ex-wife said to me, if you leave, you will never be able to live with yourself. 1973, I went on a world cruise, and David Berglass took me under his wing. And I was producing and directing musical comedy at the time. and I fell in love with mentalism, and I fell in love with hypnosis. But I thought there could be more to this. I mean, this is really powerful stuff, mentalism, and really powerful stuff, hypnosis. What if you could motivate people somehow to just get a glimpse of their potential? So that's what I devoted myself. And the only other award I won was 1977, was Campus Entertainer of the Year. It was the first award. And I was so stunned with that, that I thought that would be the end of it for my life. And about 3 or 4 years ago, John Stetson, I was working with him, kind of coaching him, said, I feel like I'm waking you up. As only John could do. I said, what do you mean? He said, you should be out there performing. And right after, I put together a new show. Joe came in my life, cello, and it has been a magical, magical experience. And I'm going to leave you with one quick story, because 2 years ago, with launching my new show, 2.5 years ago, do you know who Gil Eagles is, by the by? Are you? Yeah. One of the greatest mentalists of all times. And we were the greatest competitors back in 1973, 4, 5, 6, 7 with Ken Weber, 8, 9. And I was really taken with his blindfold. I'd never done a blindfold. So 2.5 years ago, and by the way, I hired 3 people to figure it out in 1975. They couldn't do it. And I called Gil up 2.5 years ago, and I said, Gil, teach me the blindfold. He said, sure, come down and pick up Mark Salem, and Motion, come down and bring your video camera, I'll teach you the blindfold. So I go down, and I did, and I had a show coming up in 4 months. That's why I was learning this. We were down in St. Thomas, where we lived part of the year, and I am trying to learn this blindfold. It's not easy. I mean, Gil's is not easy. I mean, the $50, the tape, boop, 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 boop. I almost had to go to the hospital because my face broke out from all the tape. I was full of bruises from my legs hitting the furniture down in our condo. So I come out one day, and because with my wonderful wife who's been so tolerant, Susan Granger, and I'm walking out in my underwear. She said, not again. And I'm, doing what you do, blindfold, right? I'm walking around. I walk up to her, and she's staring at me. I mean, I actually walked up to her. She probably killed me for this. And I put out my right hand and grabbed her breast. And I thought, and she goes, you're getting it. You'll be ready to go on stage when you can do both. Thank you very much.